Uh, Cowboys. Mike McCarthy coming back. I'm shocked that he didn't get fired. I think it's an absolute tragedy that he's still there. Brian Schottenheimer, offense coordinator, and new DC Mike Zimmer. All right. Went 12-5 last year, and their over under for 2024 is 9.5 wins.
I believe it was the same last year, and we both went under.
And we
But
got it wrong. Jeez.
but here's the thing with the Cowboys, guys, and you can look at the key additions. One, you can bring them up. They got Tyler Guyton out of Oklahoma, guy we both liked. We understood why. They got Marshawn Nealon, the edge from Colorado State, who's raw. They could definitely use some pass rush there. Linebacker Eric Kendrick, whose best days are long behind him. We agree.
Yeah.
And they lost a lot of key players. They lost Tyron Smith, Tony Pollard, Gilly Locke, Stephon Gilmore.
Yeah.
And what have you heard this offseason? It's literally two things. Are we going to give Dak Prescott $60 million? And are we going to give CeeDee Lamb $40 million? And I think have they announced the deal for CeeDee Lamb, or is it just still like speculation?
I think it's still speculation.
But it's like 4 years, $140 million.
I can't remember. They might have came out with the details. Yeah, you should look that up.
Yeah. No, and they haven't. Sorry, I had to look it up real quick. Sometimes, all this shit escapes us. But here's the thing. We go into the season saying the same shit. How incompetent can the Cowboys look when it matters, right? That's all I'm thinking. Yeah. That's all Dak's thinking. I've talked to him about it. He's like, it doesn't matter. With McCarthy, we know what the ceiling of this team is. There is not 1% of me that thinks this is a Super Bowl contender.
Yeah.
Not one.
They have so much talent in places. Not even to mention Trayvon Diggs is coming off of a pretty bad injury.
Torn ACL.
Yeah,
torn
so
ACL.
He's still recovering. Who knows if he's going to be 100% by the season starting. Look, I just don't like McCarthy. I think when you mess up a team mentally, as far as like great regular season, and then we come playoffs and we lose in the first or second round, it's like, how many years do we need to keep on doing this? And
how about just the way you lose? I agree with what you said, but how about, we try to run a quarterback draw, we don't spot the fucking ball right. Yeah. Hey, we get Zeke's hiking the ball in what should have been his final snap as a Cowboy. And whatever the fuck, when Green Bay was like, hey,
beat the brakes off them.
Yeah, like you said it, but it's not just that it's happened. It's the way it's happened. It's not like, damn, like, oh, Dez caught it. It's like, no, you
it stings.
Shit yourself.
It stings a little.
Penalties in a playoff game.
Yeah, it stings a little different. It's not like Jim Harbaugh going to a bunch of NFC championships and a Super Bowl in that window and being like, hey, like, we just getting beat by a better team, man. Like, they're just coming on the short end of the stick.
Yeah,
they're not prepared.
Something like that.
They're
correct. 100%.
They're not prepared. And to me, I have no idea why, if Vrabel was even 1% interested in being a head coach.
Belichick.
I mean, I get the Belichick thing. I can.
You can't tell me. Shut the fuck up. No, you can't tell me. You're the Cowboys. You're a Cowboy fan. You wouldn't jump at the chance of Belichick over McCarthy. Come on. No fucking way. There's no way.
Yeah, as a fan, as a fan, you will love it. But from looking at it,
no way, bro. You're not gonna take the greatest coach ever and not want a chance with them just to see if
he's washed though.
No, he's not. He's not fucking washed.
I mean, no one picked him
up. They had 2 decent years. Why'd they keep the fucking idiot? Why?
I know. I get you. Maybe it's more of a point of like anyone else but him kind of thing. I would have loved.
Don't get it.
I would have loved the Vrabel hire. I thought it made perfect sense to get him over the hump. Look, they're gonna have a great regular season. They're really talented. They're too talented to be bad in the like they're not gonna win 4 games. They're gonna win at least 8 minimum. 8 games.
If they win 8, it's like a national story every week. Like they're
Yeah,
just waiting for the axe to fall. I mean, 8's bad for this team.
yeah,
8's like really bad.
yeah.
But I will say this one. Um, Obviously, the contract extensions are looming for those two guys. But what's the identity of this team? Because I feel like if you give Dak Prescott 60 million, it's like, hey, we're the right arm of our quarterback.
Yeah, it's
That's all
Dak.
we are.
It's Dak and
And
CD.
I think maybe that's where their mentality is because they have no good running back. Sorry, Zeke's a bum. Um, they got they have the
Rico
Munchkin Deuce.
Dollins. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess it is Dak centric, but then you look, do you trust this O line? You're like, wow, this is a
Well, look,
stud
I
unit.
think I think one of the most underrated things that probably uh a lot of outside people don't realize is they lost Dan Quinn. Like we could have easily put key losses for Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn is in Washington now, and kind of the same thing with Vrabel. Players loved Dan Quinn on that defense. They
He took a lot of them with him too. He
exact
took a few of them to go.
exactly. He took a lot of Cowboys to Washington, and you have to think when things are going south in the back of your mind. If you're Micah Parsons, you're Trayvon Diggs, like fuck, bro, like
And
I miss
imagine
Dan
if
Quinn.
Washington gets out to like a decent start and you're struggling.
Yeah.
That's like worst case scenario, right?
Cause honestly, would you have been mad if they were like, you know what? We're gonna fire McCarthy. Let's hire Dan Quinn, head coach.
Or just promote him. Yeah, give him like a year, see what he can do in a year or two. Yeah, it wouldn't be mad.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. If Washington looks competent and they're like being like, let's say let's get off to like a 5-3 start, and Dallas is 5-3, you're like, what the fuck?
Right.
There's no way.
Yeah.
And and I feel like Jerry has been really weird with McCarthy since that first bad year where Dak got hurt. It's been like, when's he getting fired? Let's fire him.
It's
And there's been 3 catastrophic playoff losses.
it's crazy how much power Jerry Jones has and how long he sticks with coaches. Like he sticks with them way too long, bro.
And we in last episode, I believe, or the Lions episode, we were applauding the Lions for keeping their guy, but the difference in that is every year you saw the Lions like, oh, it's kind of getting better. It's getting worse in Dallas.
Right.
I don't care. I don't care that you beat up on the Giants with a third string quarterback, Tommy DeVito. I don't care.
Right.
You
Yeah.
can't get whooped in the playoff game at your house
That
like
can't
that.
happen. That cannot happen.
And it
bro.
wasn't close. You can look at the box score and think it was close. It was a blowout. The game was over at halftime.
Exactly. So that brings us to the over under. I'm gonna go over. It's a regular season bet, and I'm willing to take that. They have way too much talent. But when it comes to the playoffs, I'm prove me wrong. I need to see it to believe it. Win 2 playoff games, get to an NFC championship, shut me up. They have more than enough talent to do this. I think Dak is more than capable. They may have question marks in some places like the offensive line, whatever. They still have an amazing team around them, bro. And they have more than enough to make a run at a Super Bowl. It's just, are they going to do it? Is the coaching going to be good enough? That's the main thing. But over.
I'm going under 1. And I don't think it's going to be like a 4-13 season. I'm thinking it's going to be right at 9. I think it is going to be a bad season. I think they might miss the playoffs. And my big factor is obviously McCarthy. And I think the overall health of Dak Prescott. He's not a healthy quarterback. He's not an Iron Man like an Eli Manning, Peyton Manning for most of his career. This is a guy who's fought with thumb injury. He had the leg. You have a rookie left tackle if he plays tackle. I mean, obviously Tyler Smith gives you some flexibility, but Zach Martin and Tyler Smith are their 2 good offensive linemen. Everyone else is average to below.
Big dreams, everything ain't what it seems. Glittering gold, both fleeing. Not on my team. This organic.